the Conservative Party able to understand that we have a climate emergency? Can the Conservative government understand that climate change is real?
Mr. Speaker, obviously we have a climate emergency, and that's why we have a motion before Parliament right now. I want everyone to stand up and say that the science is clear on climate change.
Mr. Speaker, I want to take us back 3.5 years ago. We went to Paris to negotiate an ambitious Paris Agreement after a decade of inaction. Who was with me? The member opposite. What did we talk about there? We talked about how we needed to take serious action on climate change, how that needed to include putting a price on pollution, that we need to act for our kids, that we could grow the economy at the same time tackling climate change. He seems to have forgotten that. I'm happy to go out, have a drink with him, and remind him exactly what happened and how we can grow the economy, how we can tackle climate change, and we can all do it together.
Sheila Gunn Reid for Rebel News, and I'm not sure anybody would get all that excited about going for a drink with former Environment Minister Catherine McKenna. She can get obnoxious. Remember this?
You know, I actually gave him some real advice. I said that if you actually say it louder, we've learned in the House of Commons, if you repeat it, if you say it louder, if that is your talking point, people will totally believe it. So just go.
But here's the thing about all those clips I just showed you. The first ones from Parliament are evidence of the truth told in the latter. This mantra of growing the economy and protecting the environment is one that's oft repeated, but it's not at all true. It's just said so many times in an effort to convince people of the lie. For example, did you know the government has never actually even bothered to test their hypothesis about growing the economy while also simultaneously imposing financially crushing climate policies? Though they keep saying it over and over and over and over. How do I know? Well, here's the proactive release from the Government of Canada telling us they didn't bother to even wonder about how their bizarre climate policies like the carbon tax and the hike of the carbon tax, and then this new coming emissions cap and the gender-based analysis, plus shoehorned into resource project development as an added cost and hurdle to getting anything done. For context, though, a proactive release is publicly released data that someone else filed for, and after a specific amount of time has passed, it's released to everybody. Let's take a look at it. Organization, Department of Finance, year 2022, month May, request number, and then they list it there in case you're curious. Request summary. All records related to Canadian GDP, employment, productivity, and any potential impacts due to Canada's environmental commitments since 2019. Disposition. No records exist. Number of pages, 0. We know the government now didn't analyze because they know, as ideological as they are, that the facts would not support their weird mantra about the climate and the economy just going hand in hand into the sunset. They say it over and over, like a chant, like McKenna, confidently, as they know it to be a fact that they can test and test and test over and over again, but they didn't even test it once because they know. The economy and the environment do not go hand in hand the way they say unless the two concepts are holding hands as they go careening off a cliff, Thelma and Louise style. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. Rebel News files dozens of access to information requests every single week. Sometimes we strike gold. And sometimes, as they say in the oil patch, we drill a duster. But we have to go through each one individually just to be sure. That takes time, it takes resources, and filing and appeals take money. If you'd like to help us do this important research and accountability work into, well, all levels of government, please consider making a donation at rebelinvestigates.com.